If you see the previous year questions of UPSC main, especially GS2 paper, there has been direct question from the Supreme Court judgments. So if we cover the Supreme Court cases, not only it helps in value addition of our points, but also it can be useful in answering some of the specific questions based on the Supreme Court judgments. For example, in 2017, UPSC asked question on the examine the scope of fundamental rights in light of latest judgments of the Supreme Court on the right to privacy. So this question can be addressed if we are having sufficient number of Supreme Court judgments. Similarly, if you see in same 2017, Supreme Court asked about its UPSC asked about one of the judgment of Supreme Court on National Judicial Appointment Commission 2014. It is the case of separation of power. Then in 2022 also, Supreme Court asked about the modern laws related to the environment. Similarly, 2016 direct question on the Coelho case. So you see that the questions are being asked on the Supreme Court judgments directly also. So it is better to cover those important Supreme Court judgments which can be used to substantiate our points, as well as if UPSC asks direct question on those topics, we can answer them. Considering this type of question, we have structured this lecture series like we have already covered the recent judgments, because UPSC is asking recent judgments. Second thing is that we will cover theme-wise judgments. For example, how the basic structure has evolved through the different case laws of the Supreme Court. Similarly, the fundamental rights related Supreme Court judgments, preamble, DPSP, and the fundamental duties related Supreme Court judgments, then federalism and separation powers related Supreme Court judgments, women rights related Supreme Court judgments. For example, recently combat role has been provided to the women in by the Supreme Court. Some instant triple talaq case was there. So what are those important Supreme Court judgments related to the women rights? Then this has been in news, and in the recent in these year's mains exam or in the next year, definitely some questions can be asked on the transgender rights, like the Navtej Singh Johar case, similar Nalsa case. Other cases are very important, and we will see the different cases involving the transgender rights in India. Then environmental rights, like UPSC has already asked question. Similar to reservation is also in the news, so we'll cover important Supreme Court judgments related to these themes. In today's class, we will see that what are the different Supreme Court judgments related to the evolution of the basic structure. So we will see the evolution of the basic structure through the different case laws. In this lecture, you will find 7 different case laws like Shankari Prasad case, Golakhnath case, Kesavanand Bharati case, Minerva Mills case, Woman Rao case, SR Bommai case, and IR Coelho case. In this, Supreme Court UPSC have already asked direct question. So let us quickly see the key points of these cases, and for those who have covered, it will be a revision, and for those who have not covered, it will be a very crisp and the brief discussion which you can use in your answers, as well as it will be helpful for your understanding. Notes for this you will get at the Telegram channel of Sarchandra IAS Academy. The link is in description box. So let us see the key points. For example, the first case, which is the Shankari Prasad case of 1951, said that laws in Article 13, as we know, gives the definition of the law. Supreme Court said that the laws in Article 13 includes only ordinary laws, that what Parliament have passed or the state legislatures have passed, those laws only contain. It does not contain constitutional amendment acts. Constitutional amendment laws are not included or not considered under the Article 13. So this was the narrow interpretation, you can say, that Article 13, which was challenged or which was turned by the Golakhnath case in 1967. In Golakhnath case, Supreme Court said that the Parliament can amend the parts of the Constitution, but cannot abridge any fundamental rights. So Golakhnath case given immune to the fundamental rights from the amendment power of the Parliament. What Golakhnath case said, and Supreme Court said in Article 368, which gives The Article 368, which is related to the amendment of the Constitution, gives only the procedures, not the power to amend the fundamental rights. It gives just the procedure. But Parliament reacted through 24th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1971. Through this amendment, Parliament said that Parliament have the ultimate power to take away any fundamental right under Article 368. This was the reaction of the legislature against the judiciary. Then again the judiciary reacted in the Kesavanand Bharati case of 1973, which gave the doctrine of basic structure. Under the doctrine of basic structure, Supreme Court said there are certain features or characteristics of the Constitution which cannot be amended by the Parliament. Parliament overlord can amend any provision of the Constitution except some of the features which makes the fundamental of the Constitution, basic feature of the Constitution. However, Supreme Court have not defined what exactly are those provisions which constitute the basic features. So after this judgment, there was again reaction of the legislature through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976, in which Parliament, that is legislature, passed the law saying that there is no limitation on the constituent power of Parliament. That is, Parliament can amend any provision of the Constitution. So it tried to nullify the Kesavanand Bharati case. Then again the case went to the Supreme Court. In Minerva Mills case of 1980, Supreme Court said that judicial review is a basic feature. So you cannot take away judicial review from the judiciary to review the different laws of the legislatures and the executive directions or the decisions of the legislatures of the executive. Okay, so judicial review became a kind of key feature of the basic feature of the Constitution. Then the second important judgment, which in the Minerva Mills case, was that there is limited amendment power of the Parliament. Parliament have not the broad or ultimate power of amendment. They have limited power of amendment of Constitution, which itself a basic feature. That is, limited amendment power of the Parliament is itself a basic feature. Okay, so that cannot be changed into the ultimate power. It is very important point. The next important provision in the Minerva Mills case is that there should be a balance between the fundamental rights and DPSP, because to implement the DPSP in Article 39B, Article 39C, to give right to abolish the right to property, distribute the land resources, bring the monopoly in the economy, Parliament used to pass different legislation which were against the fundamental rights, and which was the reason these cases were going to the judiciary. There were conflict. So Supreme Court clearly said there should be the harmony. We should not give priority to one above the other. The next case is the Woman Rao case of 1981. In this case, Supreme Court said that the all constitutional amendment acts which was enacted after 24th April 1973, which is the date of the Kesavanand Bharati case judgment, will come under the scrutiny of the judiciary. Whether they infringe or violate the basic feature or not, that can be scrutinized by the judiciary. Next case is the SR Bommai case of versus Union of India case of 1994. In this case, federalism, secularism and democracy was included in the definition of the basic feature of the Constitution. That is, those also constitute the basic feature. The last case, that is the Coelho versus State of Tamil Nadu of 2007. In this case, Supreme Court said that the laws which has been kept under the 9th schedule, as we know, 9th schedule is a schedule which was brought to immune certain laws and the acts from the judicial reviews, from the scrutiny of judiciary. But in the Coelho case, Supreme Court said that those laws which violate the basic feature, basic structure of the Constitution given under the Kesavanand Bharati case will come under the scrutiny even after those are in the 9th schedule. So this was overall the evolution of the basic feature through 7 judgments you can write if direct question are asked, or some of the case if they specifically ask, or these cases can be used as substantiation of different points. We will meet again in the next discussion about the next case law as we discussed in the previously. Thank you so much.